a creepy movie. I mean, it felt so real, you know, and it's hard to, you know, kind of conceive, like, we've always been with these questions of, is there life out there? But it's hard to conceive that we could find life and it might mean the end of ours. What do you think about that?
It could. It could mean the end of Earth. It could mean the relationship and a bond between new galaxies. It could mean anything, really, couldn't it? I think what's fascinating and scary in this film, something that Daniel explained, is this is not an alien creature that comes onto our spaceship and takes over. There's actually humankind, in the word of science and the love of science, takes something from its natural habitat. We close it behind door after door after door, firewalls, as we call it, as Miranda calls it. And we provoke it and we test its limit. And gradually we are actually creating our own threat, which kind of resembles what we do.
Yeah, it does. Have you ever done the whole consideration for this Elon Musk SpaceX experiment, and did you go put a down payment down on the trip to space, or that's like after doing this?
Not.
No.
No.
You're not with
no,
it?
I've done it. Check. Tick. You know, I had Nigel Phelps build the ISS replica. I had harness work done. I've done it, and I'm going to leave it to other people to do.
Yeah. Do you?
Would you do it?
Would I do it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I'd just rather just deal with what's going on here.
Yeah.
I mean,
we have enough going on here.
Yeah.
Let's try and sort this out before we go out and try and take over the universe.
Do you think y'all should have named this organism after, you know, kind of turned on you? I mean, y'all did provoke it. But you think Calvin was the proper name? Like, if you could go back and rename this organism now,
I think Calvin
would be more fitting.
I think Calvin is a very good name, and I love the way that the writer said that the school got to choose it, and they chose their own name. Kind of a lovely idea of human centralization as well. Let's name the organism our name, sort of our school name. It's great. In my head, throughout the film, I had to mention it and say Calvin, but I loved referring to it as it.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was genderless. It was. I didn't want to humanize it. I think humanizing things that we cannot control and that we shouldn't control is a little bit far-fetched, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was looking at some of the behind-the-scenes footage, and I mean, I guess being in zero G on screen ends up being a real physical activity in production. So, I mean, all the tango and stuff that you've done in the past, like, did that help you with, like, the body control? Because it seemed like even with the harnesses, y'all still had to use a lot of muscle to, like,
It was hard. We did a lot of core work, regular training, and then weeks of harness work with stunt people. And yeah, maybe I think dance in general, if you've done like Hero, he is martial art champion. He barely needed harnesses. I mean, the guy was floating on air. I don't know how he did it. He was just levitating. No, but he was on his toes and just moving. It was like, yeah, Hero's not in his harness again. We're like, oh, okay. But it was, what was fun with the work and the body work was Alexandra Reynolds, our movement coach. She helped us find our characteristic trait moves. Are you an external person? Are you introvert? Are you very aware, spatial awareness? If you drop a pen and you know it's floating, can you see it in peripheral eye? Sort of, do you know where it has moved? Organization skills. There's just so much to think about.
Yeah.
There's liquid in the helmet.
We've only 3 minutes before the suit is flooded.
It won't let go.
I'm headed to the airlock. Using the launch suit.
It's not designed for this. There's not enough.
Come on, do it!
Her heart is beating out of her chest. She's drowning.
Cat. We're gonna do this together, okay?
You're gonna go clockwise from your side. Cat, you're fighting me, Cat. Come on, gotta do it together now. Come on.
Cat.
Look at me.
Cat.
Just pull on the lever, okay? Come on. Just pull down on the lever.
And last question. I mean, I know science just discovered 7 new planets recently. Like, has being a part of this movie, or even before this, are you just engaged by those type of scientific discoveries in the space?
I think I wish I was more engaged, and it becomes very episodical to me because I move on to the next film. Like my head now is of course doing this,
Yeah.
because this is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm prepping for missions. I'm doing stunt and martial art training, and I look at that. But what I love about the job that I do is that I go out and research about topics that I might not have done prior to the offer of the role.
Right.
I talk to microbiologists. I've looked at so many videos on astronauts, and it's fascinating. There's so much we can learn.
Yeah. Well, Rebecca, it's nice always meeting you in exotic
Lovely
places.
meeting you,
Last
Jamal.
time Austria, now we down in South
I'll
by
see where I
Southwest.
see you next time.
Not in space.
Bora Bora or somewhere warm.
Great seeing you again.
Lovely seeing you.